For evaluation question number 2, I shall be answering the question of how effective is the combination of your main product and ancillary text. For my main product, I developed and produced a thriller film trailer, and for my ancillary tasks, I made a film poster to advertise my new film and 2 magazine front covers, my final one and also a special edition one that goes alongside my poster. Firstly, I started off with doing some general research into other film posters and magazines and analysed them to better my understanding of what makes a good poster or magazine front cover. I analysed multiple versions of each to make sure I had vast understanding of different designs and techniques used. Once I'd done plentiful of research, I then went on to design rough copies and ideas of magazine front covers and posters, so I could therefore select which one I thought would be the best to use and then develop them into finalised designs. By designing different versions, I was able to compare them to already made real products to see which one I thought would be best suited to my film based on what other similar films have used to already advertise their film. Also, by designing them roughly beforehand, I was able to eliminate any problems easily and spot any mistakes that needed improving before making my final products, as it was easier to change ideas in the designing process compared to than it would be in the final stages, when my photos and finalised aspects would have already been made. Therefore, by spotting them earlier, I was able to save time and work solely on my final piece. The combination of my work was effective for many different reasons. Firstly, I ensured that my colour schemes were the same on both my posters and magazine front cover. I did this as I believe it makes them look more professional, but also shows they link together and are about the same film. The colours I used were red, white and black. I used red to highlight the name of the film, as this needed to stand out the most to catch people's attention, but also to make them remember the film. I used a combination of both black and white depending on the background it was on, so white would be used on top of dark backgrounds and then the black on lighter backgrounds. This was to make sure the text is easy to read and stood out from the main images. This then goes into the font I used. I used the same font for the main titles in each piece of work. The title text had the same fonts to make them stand out more, but to also show that they were part of the same film. The only fonts that were slightly different were the smaller parts of the text. However, this was done to benefit the audience, to ensure that it was easy to read against the background images. I believe by keeping the fonts and colour schemes the same, it enabled the audience to make the visual connection that they are part of the same film, but also creates a more professional finish. However, one thing that was different was my main image, and also that the actors that were featured in each image. They both used the actors from the film, but they were different ones. I decided to do this as I wanted all the actors to be shown, so I used 2 in the magazine and any other actors on the poster. I believe this combination is very effective as it shows all the actors that I'd used in my film, but also shows a bit more insight into the film as well. Saying this, I did do a limited edition version of the magazine which used the same main photo from my poster. I did this as a collective piece and an extra for the audience to purchase if they thoroughly enjoyed the film. The reason that I then decided to change the image so they weren't the same was so that the audience were able to get more ideas about my storyline, but also so that they stood out more against other films' similar products. For my images, I used locations from my actual set. This was so that they tied into the film well, but so the audience could get a slight indication into what the film is about and where it might be set. This also means that the photos are linked to the storyline. Again, this helps to engage the audience as they'll be wondering how they fit with the film, why are they set where they are, and what the locations could represent in the film. Overall, I believe both my ancillary tasks and main product create a good, effective combination in helping to make a successful project as a whole. There are many links between all my works and insights into the main product which will entice the audience. Not only do they all link well, but they also give off a professional look, which again will help to sell the products and make the film as a whole a success. The combination between the 3 pieces of work really well because of the links and similarities between both. I did this as it helps the audience to realise that they all link together and are part of the same film, which again makes my work look professional and well made.